Yep, it's broke again. All right, so I think we got to figure it out. So this tower runs off hydraulics, but it also runs off a metal cable. So these metal cables in the center console, last time this thing broke, these actually slipped off. Now this one's fraying a little bit, but I don't know if I can get these parts anymore. So I'm not too worried about that. So all these metal cables, everything was tight. Up in here, they run as well. And they run to connectors up in here to this pump to control the valve and which way this is gonna move. Everything here was tight. At the end, you can see there's the cables. There's 3 cables that run through here too on these pulleys. All those were tight. So I figured out something with the hydraulics. Maybe I had a leak somewhere I wasn't seeing. And so we turned it. I don't really know what you'd call this, but this, you can take this apart. You have the 2 hydraulic lines that come into here. So Dad was turning it and I was watching this. There's a rolled pin in the middle. I didn't notice it before that it was pulled out. And so it wasn't going all the way through. So this wasn't turning at all. So this metal cable wasn't going through the whole system out through this. It goes through this bottom, around, up into the top tube, back into the console, and controlled on the stick. So this wasn't moving because this rolled pin wasn't all the way through. And when it came around, it was actually hitting this connector. So if I would have kept just yanking on it like I did last time and got everything twisted up in here, it would have probably broke this off. And I don't know, this is probably cast or something. And you can't find parts of these anyways. It's from the 60s or 70s. So I got lucky and just had to pound this little rolled pin back in. It has a small hairline fracture in it, but I don't think it's anything too crazy to worry about. I'm just gonna watch this pin on a daily basis now. And everything else, we're gonna get all these lubed back up, get some oiler on this thing, and you know, I got this about 3/4 row done. Got a lot left to go, but I think she's ready to go now. All right, pounded the roll pin in a little bit flush again. Got this panel back on, these 2 panels back on. Checked over everything else. Everything looks good. I think we can finally go get some warmer clothes on. We can get probably, I don't know, I think it's like noon right now, maybe 1. Probably get a few rows of tops done today before it gets dark on us. See what we can get. Well, before we head out and trim, we gotta just do one quick thing with some buckwork. I'm actually looking at some, real quick before we head on out, I'm just kind of looking at some inventory for 2024. So this year I'm planting some of these BL14 galas, but I'm doing on a 969, more of a process. So on that bigger tree, it'll still color real nice. And I kind of like this root, kind of like the spacing I got going on with processing blocks. And a lot of the time they're actually good enough to go fresh too, so I can kind of make my choice. I'm kind of interested right here in these Royal Red Honeycrisp on 969. 969 is just a little bit less vigorous than the, what do you call it, than an M7, which we got a lot of actually.